Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. I want to thank you all for your support to my channel. I really do appreciate all your support and your comments and your likes. Thank you all very much. Today I will share my thoughts on L'Artisan Parfumeur. This is a niche perfume house that was founded in 1976 by Jean Laporte, who later left the house to found another rifle perfume house. Anyway, it started with Jean Laporte creating a banana scent for a friend who was wearing a banana costume for a gala. And basically the house lays emphasis on scents from nature. So in this video, I will talk about my experience wearing these perfumes. I have been wearing them over the last few weeks. And I will talk about whether they are unisex or appropriate for men or women, what's the sillage or how long it lasts. I will just roughly go over the notes. I won't get into too many details on the notes. You can always research that on Google. And I will talk about what the perfumes smell like to me and whether I would like to purchase a big bottle sometime in the future or not. So when I ordered this online, I thought this would be reasonably sized, but this is really tiny. I'll put it here to give you an idea. I have this little tiny plant and maybe I compare it with my finger. So this is how it comes out. But I think the packaging is fairly cute, and compared to some of the other discovery sets or sample sets that I bought from Sephora, these are all 5 milliliters, which is a fairly good size to sample, and I think for the price it's pretty good. Some of the other samples these days are 1.5 milliliters or 2 milliliters and a few sprays and it's over. So I was able to really test these out. So the first one I have here is Mure et Musc. It is basically blackberries and musk, as the name says. This was created in 1978 by Jean Laporte. This is an eau de toilette. All of these are eau de toilette. Now, I honestly don't smell any blackberries, maybe just a hint of them. I mostly get musk. And on my skin, this starts out pretty strong, but very quickly it fades and becomes more like a very cheap hand soap or some laundry soap. I don't really like this smell. It's very ordinary, very musky, and I enjoy musk occasionally, but the way this smells, I don't like it. I know a lot of people like this one, but to me it smells, like I said, it's just very cheap soap or hand soap like you'd find in a public toilet. So really not for me. It does become a skin scent and it lasts on the skin for many hours, probably about 6 hours or so on me. It is very common hand soap kind of smelling fragrance, so not really my favorite, and I obviously will not be getting a bigger bottle of this. The next fragrance I have here is called Timbuktu. This was made by Bertrand Ducheffour in 2004. This is inspired by the perfumer's travels to Africa, in particular Timbuktu in Mali. I believe there is a ritual where they have, they smoke a lot of flowers and there's a lot of incense burning, and the mothers pass it down to their daughters, this ritual, and the smoke is supposed to get you the love of your life or something like that. And the perfumer was inspired by the smells that he smelt in Africa, and he created this. This has an exotic African flower mixed with a lot of vetiver, spices, patchouli, myrrh, a bit of mango, and pink pepper. Now this smells quite interesting to me. I grew up in India, and growing up there, we have this thing called pan that we eat after meals. I mean, not always, but especially when you go out and have a meal, whether lunch or dinner, you would find some restaurants that have something called pan. It's basically a betel leaf that has a little bit of tobacco and some other stuff. Now, of course, we didn't have the tobacco version of the pan. It's supposed to give throat cancer, so not healthy at all. But what we called that was a sweet pan, which is basically betel leaves and a bit of aniseed, a few spices, cloves, candied rose petals, and stuff like that. And it's supposed to be very refreshing. It smells very fresh. It's like a mouth freshener. You have it after a meal, and it's a nice smell. We have we like that smell and taste quite a bit, and we've put that in our some of our sweets. We have candies that we used to have as kids, and so this smell reminds me a lot of that. And normally I would like something that reminds me of a childhood smell, but it is some kind of a mouth freshener, and I don't feel very comfortable wearing a fragrance that smells like mouth freshener, honestly. So I know a lot of people like this fragrance. They think it's really exotic, and it is. It is really very well made. I think the notes are very well balanced, and had it not been for my experience with pan, I probably would have liked it. It is fairly unique. So for all those of you who like vetiver and like unique smells and like to get transported to exotic lands, I do suggest you give this a sniff. And all of those who are Indians or watching this who are from India would know exactly what I'm talking about. So it's a nice fragrance. If I wear it a long time and maybe continue to use it for months, I might grow to like it, but as of now I am not too fond of it, and I don't want to smell of pan, let's say that. Now the third fragrance I have here is called Chasse aux Papillons, which literally means hunting butterflies or chasing butterflies. This was made by Uplifting in the year 1999. This is my favorite amongst all the samples that I have. I loved it from the first sniff. This is very floral, tuberose, orange blossom, jasmine and white flowers fragrance, but it's one of the lightest and most wearable, very summery kind of tuberose smell that I've smelled. So the first hit that I get is of tuberose and jasmine, and basically on my skin that's what I smell. It lasts fairly long on me, probably 6 to 8 hours. The sillage is about okay on this one. If someone is close to me, they'd be able to smell it. But this is such a beautiful fragrance. It really does remind me of a walk in a butterfly garden where you have butterflies fluttering about and you have sun coming through the trees and you're walking around. And in fact, it reminds me of a few years back I had gone down to Pismo Beach, and there is this place between Pismo and Morro Bay where you have monarch butterflies, and you have like thousands of monarch butterflies that come there every year. And when I smelled this, I think it was because of the name of the perfume or what, it just reminded me of that time. It's very appropriate for spring, and I think you can even wear it in summer. I do have other tuberose fragrances that are very strong. I have Poème by Lancôme and a couple others, and tuberose is a very heavy floral, and this one I think is a very green tuberose kind of a fragrance. I absolutely love it. If there is any of the samples that I will get a big bottle of, it's probably this one. And this one also does remind me of a soap that I used as a child because of the strong jasmine smell. It does smell a little bit soapy sometimes, but as it develops with time, it does turn out to be very beautiful. And also it stirs some kind of I don't know what to call it. I don't want to call it romantic or sensual, but some feelings. It just stirs up some emotions, very positive emotions. It is a very uplifting fragrance without being citrusy. I know it has these orange blossoms and all, but I don't smell much of those, so they're blended in quite well. What I get is mostly jasmine and tuberose. Let me just quickly show you how you open this. This is basically a dab-on bottle, and personally I don't like the dab-ons, but you know, I mean, this is okay for a sample, and it just smells really great. So yeah, those were the samples from L'Artisan Parfumeur. I hope you had fun watching this video. Please do give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.